News today. Another NFL player getting paid. The difference is it's not a wide receiver today. Although he does have 1,000 yards receiving since being traded to the 49ers. We're talking about Christian McCaffrey, former Panther. The Niners are paying Christian McCaffrey on an extension, which shows again just another example of how badly the Panthers botched that trade. Adam Schefter with the tweet. I'll read it to you. Reigning Offensive Player of the Year. Oh, yeah, he won Offensive Player of the Year last year.
Because he was awesome? Yes.
Yeah, because he was awesome. He was a workhorse. He did a little bit of everything. Reigning Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey, once again has reset the running back market, signing a 2-year extension with the 49ers, averaging $19 million per year, per sources. These are, like I said, Schefter's sources.
What?
McCaffrey will receive an additional $8 million over what he was scheduled to make in the first 2 years, while adding $24 million in guarantees for a running back. Now I know what you're saying, right? Wait, $19 million per year. Didn't Justin Jefferson just get $35 per year yesterday? Yes, different positions, greatly different scales, right? Different reactions. $19 million per year for a running back? That's a ton of money. It's a boatload of money. Which now makes Christian McCaffrey the highest paid running back in the NFL for 5 years and counting. I understand why the Panthers, as part of a rebuild, looked at Christian McCaffrey and said he is no longer a luxury we can afford. Trading him on the surface makes some sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't like the worst trade in the history of the world. But, and I said this to Dennis off air, part of being a football decision maker is what I call identifying the aliens. Alien is the highest level of compliment I can give to an athlete, right? It's the highest. Let me think of some examples.
It's like right above unicorn.
It's not right above. Like the aliens are well above unicorn.
Yeah.
Right? Like Kristaps Porzingis is a unicorn.
Yeah.
Giannis is an alien. Like there's levels to this.
That's true.
LeBron is an alien. Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, Adrian Peterson. These were aliens. And what aliens do is they buck the trend. Derrick Henry's an alien. I remember there was Derrick Henry like 4 times in his career. I've said, well, Cliff is coming. He's going to fall off the edge. And then there's all off season, nothing but workout videos of him doing things that don't look like they should apply to football. It's like, well, I don't know why in football you need to hold chains in each hand while you do hopscotch with a skip it from the 90s rotating around your leg. But hey, whatever it takes. And then he comes back in the next year, and again, he's in the top 5 in rushing yards. You don't pay running backs. You don't. You do pay aliens, regardless of what position they are at. The Panthers looked at Christian McCaffrey as a running back, and it's very hard to identify, but if they looked at him as an alien instead, he would still be there. Christian McCaffrey is different, and that is what made the trade wrong. And now the Niners get to do the roided up times 10 version of what the Panthers should be doing. Right? Because what do they both have in common? If you look at the Niners, who have, golly, one of the best rosters that I can remember.
Yeah.
They have so many good wide receivers that they drafted one in the first round, and I don't know where he's going to play. They drafted a wide receiver in the first round, ahead of Xavier Legette, by the way, and I genuinely don't think they have like space for him. They have one of the best tight ends. They have the highest paid running back. They have one of the best offensive lines, headlined by maybe the best offensive lineman of a generation. On defense, Talanoa Hufanga is one of my favorite players. He's a safety that was hurt for a bunch of the year, but he's unreal. Fred Warner, one of my best favorite linebackers. Like, they have Their defensive line, they're like sending Pro Bowlers away because they don't have room for them. They have an unbelievable roster. The Panthers were the worst team in football last year that need improvement at almost every position. What do those two teams have in common? Quarterbacks on rookie contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So the Niners get to spend on luxuries. They get to spend on the highest paid running back in the league, who is an ultimate dump-off option for their young quarterback. Brock Purdy, if he's ever confused, right? Mr. Irrelevant, 7th-round pick everybody loves. If he drops back and goes, what defense is this? Guess what his next thought is?
Where's Christian?
Yep. And Christian's just sitting there on a little option route, wide open, right in front of his face. Dump it off, takes it 80 yards to the house. What does Brock Purdy do? That's 84 passing yards. Thank you very much. And a passing touchdown. I'm on my way to the Pro Bowl. And on my way to the bank once that rookie contract comes up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bryce Young, another quarterback on a rookie contract. Think of rookie contracts like rent control, right? You have a quarterback that's making less than he would make as a starting quarterback on the open market. What do the Panthers have to do? Well, they got to figure out how to make sense of not having Christian McCaffrey. How nice would it be if Bryce Young last year drops back, sees DJ Chark running the wrong route, sees Jonathan Mingo double covered on the sideline, has practice squad Mike somewhere over the middle, and Hayden Hurst is out with an injury, so he's got a blocking tight end out there with him, and he goes, I got nothing. Instead of just bracing for impact and getting lit up by an interior pass rush, if he could find Christian McCaffrey, how lovely would that be? Instead, he has Chuba Hubbard. Love Chuba Hubbard. Very good player. Grinder between the tackles, not a pass catcher.
Ain't CMC.
I wasn't even.
Yeah.
He is not CMC.
Yeah, that's simple as that.
But it's right. Sometimes there's like the one big terrible decision, right? The Washington trading away $1 billion picks to move up and draft Robert Griffin III, who gets hurt. It's like, yep, that's going to set your franchise back a bunch of years.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a bunch of medium-sized decisions that add up, and it's like, wow, I thought maybe, yeah, you know what? You thought maybe getting something for a running back while you still could was a move. I'm not hating the logic. You just failed to account for Christian McCaffrey's an alien.
Well, it's also what you did with the picks that makes it even worse as well. It's like you traded away your best player, but you got a second, a third, and fourth round picks in 2023, which that's a good amount of a haul back for one player, plus a fifth round pick in this year's draft, 2024. The second round pick in 2023 they got from San Francisco, they used as part of the Bryce Young trade. That was one of the picks that they used as part of the haul they moved up to draft Bryce Young. The third and fourth round picks, they traded those to Pittsburgh to draft DJ Johnson, the edge rusher, who is only 6 months younger.
It's generous to call him an edge rusher.
He
plays on the edge.
He plays football.
Occasionally attempts to rush.
He had 14 tackles this past season.
He had a bunch of DNPs, a bunch of coaches' decisions, just healthy inactives.
Just didn't play. Like what the equivalent in hockey they call, you're a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
That's what he was. It's like, hey, you know what? You go and sit out today because you sitting out is better for us than you actually playing, and our team stinks.
At a position of need.
Exactly. And he's only 6 months younger than Brian Burns. So, and here's the thing. Washington drafted a tight end in Darnell Washington. What was one of the positions the Panthers needed last year? Oh, a tight end. Oh, they drafted an outside linebacker, Nick Herbig, with the 2 picks that they sent away to Pittsburgh. Nick Herbig had 3 sacks, 27 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. Way more productive than DJ Johnson. And then the 5th round pick this year, they used that as part of the Brian Burns trade to move up, and that actually became part of the deal when they moved up from 33 to 32 to draft Xavier Legette. So it was a piece of a piece. But that's it. That's all you have to show for it.
So for Christian McCaffrey, you got what we'll call a 10th of Bryce Young.
I would say more like, probably around that, 20% maybe.
Yeah, okay. So a 5th of Bryce Young. A 10th of Xavier Legette.
Yep.
And DJ Johnson.
Yeah. That's what you got to show for Christian McCaffrey.
Now, if Christian McCaffrey were not an alien and he were a running back that fell off a cliff at age 27, like most running backs do, it's like, all right, you got what you could.
Yeah.
but he's an alien, and he's still worth being the highest paid running back for one of the best teams in the league. And thus, the Panthers get Panthers all over themselves.
That's where we are.